the mean streets of West Island, Montreal.
Look at those broken fingers. I can't even do the West.
Yeah.
I can't even cross my fingers anymore. It's stuck in the shop.
Your sausage fingers. Look at those things.
Yeah,
You
they're
can't cross them.
retarded. Look at these things. They're not even. They used
weighing
to be
weighing in at 245 pounds. He's 6'7".
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, well, that's actually just the size of his ego. Glen Mackenzie
That's me.
is on the podcast here tonight. Glenn, how you doing?
Oh wait, are we rolling now? I thought we were still like in the.
We're officially
we're officially recording, but
yeah, whatever.
We're waiting on guest number 2.
I just messaged him right now.
Yeah, we're trying to get him on. We're actually waiting on guest number 2 this evening. That is Greg King, who's currently stuck on the 401.
It's true. This shit happens all the time.
If you've lived in the GTA, you've been stuck on the 401. And if you haven't lived in the GTA, you've probably also been stuck on the 401 at some point.
Poor King. He's probably writing something right now. He's probably Facebook banned again.
He's shadow banned.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't realize that there's an underground group of us that reports him all the time. So we report his posts, so he gets banned for a couple of weeks. Sorry, Greg. The truth comes out.
You got pretty good audio there. You set up at the gym, or what's the?
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. I don't keep this in my house. Could you imagine my fucking?
Oh, I thought you did. Sorry.
Like, hey, everybody. Here's my name. Here's a G. You know where I'm from. Yeah, no. See, this would be awesome at the house.
Why is everything in my house shaped like a triangle?
What's going on here?
Can we get a quick tour of the since this is a video cast as well? What's a Gracie Baja West Island look like?
Well, I can't tell you right now. It looks like shit right now behind me, man. Everything's boarded up, man. It's like blankets in the window. It looks like my first apartment when I was in my 20s. Let's put it that way. I got those blankets hanging in the windows. Nobody looking, nobody check it out. No, you can see the gym when you go online. Just check www.gbwestisland.ca. Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Snapchat, Tinder. We're all on there.
So, Mr. Mackenzie,
best way to get people.
Grindr on there too.
You just put look out for those creepy guys that are trying to meet up with you and learn jujitsu to defend yourself on Tinder. I actually tried that once. Not even a joke. Not even a lie.
Well, I know this guy looked at the link, so he's either avoiding us or he's totally stuck on the 401. So we're gonna start it anyway. So fuck this guy. When he gets on, he gets on. So
he's gonna make up an excuse or something. He probably saw my lighting. He got all intimidated, and now he's got to go.
It's possible. It is possible. So I know you're especially shut down in Montreal, especially kind of the rest of us. We all went into this kind of pandemic lockdown 2.0 again. How have things been out there lately? Has it been kind of crazy, or everybody kind of adjusting, or?
Yeah, Montreal. We're fucked in Montreal, man. I don't know what the hell's going out here in Quebec, man. It really doesn't make any sense. It's funny because we had to shut down for about, like everybody else, we had to shut down for, it was a good 4 months, right? Felt a lot longer, but we had to shut down for 4 months. And I kind of understood the first shutdown to a certain extent, where they're like, okay, we need to get the hospitals ready and, all this other stuff, let's get prepared. So yeah, of course, it sucks, but you close for the good of the community and everybody else. But then they shut us down again. Like we reopened for about. Mood, eh? I know. It's like we reopened for 2 or 3 months. I actually had a fantastic month last month. I had 22 new members because I finally started taking new people in, and 22 is a good number. I mean, there's for brand new members, and yeah. Oh jeez, look at King over here.
Look who it is!
Look at that angle. Hey, that's a hell of an angle. That's a hell of an angle. Yeah, go more in your nose. That's nice. Yeah, there you go. Turn it around. Beautiful.
There you go.
But yeah, so anyway, so they shut us down, and then they told us we had to shut down again. They ended up closing bars and restaurants out here first.
Yeah.
And then a week later, they came after. But what's funny is with gyms in Montreal in particular is that there was only 2 cases, from staff of all gyms, even those giant, the Fit Forms or the, BuzzFits and stuff like that. So even those type of gyms, only 2. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't. We're just kind of picking on the smaller businesses that kind of make people happy. You know what I mean? We're shutting this down, shutting that. It's all because we reopened schools out here. I'm not sure if you guys did that in Ontario as well.
No, we did that as well. So schools opened up, and then basically every case numbers were going to go up. That was expected to happen. Yeah, and then first it was like strip clubs. We're going to shut the strip clubs down, like because they were supposed to be open.
Hold on. Strip clubs are an essential service, Aaron. Leave them alone and stop.
At least in Montreal, they are.
That's like 77% of Montreal's economy is strip clubs.
That's literally where everybody sends their kids. I mean, that's our daycare. It's our after-school programs. No, I'm joking, but I mean, yeah.
I gotta go see mommy dance. I gotta go.
Yeah. Just sit in the corner and pull that LVT there, kiddo. Let's win some money. But
like, lockdown 2.0 happened last week, for like 2 weeks ago for you guys, or like a month ago.
It's going on 2 weeks. They told us till the 28th, but it's because basically over here we're running in like if there's more than 500 cases a day. Like that's code orange, 500 and under. So then we're allowed to open gyms, or technically with our restrictions, right? So like we're allowed training in bubbles of 4 and all this other stuff. But once it gets over 500, then they go to code red, which is shutting down restaurants, gyms for now. You know, I don't know. You can get your haircut, you can get a massage. Like it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. And it's like, especially since there's only been 2 cases. And that's just like staffing. Like I know, like out of all the BJJ gyms, I'm sure nobody's going to broadcast it. Hey, we got COVID here, but you know, there was no reports of any gyms getting it, or you know, like I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's been like 1 or 2 cases in like all of the GTA, and that's it. I would say the overwhelming amount of COVID cases have been schools mostly, and then like bars and restaurants where you know people are hanging out.
Yeah, the restaurants, the bars, I kind of understand. You know what I mean? Like I get it because people get drunk. You know, I've been out there. You know, like my friends own bars, so I go and people get drunk. They stop taking off their masks, and you know, it's a bar. I mean, you know, it is what it is. And the people, the guys who run the bars can only do so much. You know, hey, keep your mask on, this and that and the other thing. But so the bars I understand, but yeah, even restaurants, I don't know. But at least the bars and restaurants, they can still do the Uber Eats, so they can still generate income. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't really Uber eat a jiu-jitsu school. I think that's kind of the issue. Like you can do like for example, like a lot of gyms have done like Zoom classes and things like that. But even with that format, like you're still limited at the end of the day to do jiu-jitsu. Like you need, you know, human contact with people.
No, for sure. I did the Zoom for that first shutdown. I did it for 4 months, you know, and like now I've gotten back onto it, especially for the kids because it keeps the kids more involved. You know, I don't mind it, to tell you the truth. Like it's obviously not optimum, but you know, I bring in one of my instructors with me and, you know, we do the demo and then the kids train with their parents. And it's funny because it got more people involved. Like when we actually reopened, I had a lot more parents signing up, you know what I mean? Like with their kids. Cause when we first signed up, we still had the restrictions in our squares. So it's like, okay, well, you just basically we're taking Zoom and bringing it into the gym. So now you're like, your camera is now your box. So they still need their parents and stuff. So now I got all these little assistant coaches who kind of help you out. So it actually makes the kids' classes a lot easier to a certain extent.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. But it's not optimum for sure. Like, especially just before the shutdown, parents were like, we were just getting back into, okay, drop off your kids. We're taking the kids back. You know, we're still going to do the square thing and all this other stuff. But like parents were okay to let this group of 4 train. That group of 4 was all organized and they were more than happy to drop off their kids. I mean, you know, let's face it, most of the martial art kids that you get are usually, you know, hyperactive or, you know what I mean? Like parents need a little break, you know what I mean? So like they usually put them in jiu-jitsu to learn some discipline, to get their energy out, you know, like most sports, I guess, but especially ours in particular. For me in particular, I find most of the kids I get are usually ultra shy. They're getting picked on, or they're just super hyperactive or super high energy, like the ADHD type thing going on. So I'm sure it's the same for you guys too.
Yeah. Hey. But especially I want to talk about ADHD. Well, we do have Greg King who just joined us on the podcast, which is amazing. So welcome, sir.
I only have ADHD when I drive on the 401, bro. That's it. Hey, first of all, before we start, man, congrats, Aaron, for your black belt, man. That's awesome.
Hey,
look at this. You got a black belt. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And soon, Mike Breyer's gonna get it.
Give me maybe till about like 2027, 2028, roughly.
Long overdue, but no, it's good to be on here with you guys. And Glenn, you're always looking fantastic on video.
Lighting, baby.
I wish it was the same in real life, but I mean,
I was gonna put one of those sparkle filters on my face, you know. TikTok things. I was going to put butterflies here and all that other stuff. But, I figured I'd go with that
trend, man. It's the trend, man. That or TikTok videos, like you can do the best of both worlds.
Sorry, Greg, but your audio, are you underwater right now? Like, where are you recording from?
No. So I have my streaming equipment at the academy because I'm doing some content stuff for like jiu-jitsu and whatnot. So I left a lot of my equipment over there. So
you under the water. That was amazing.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hear me now?
So it's good to be on here. I watch you guys. I listen to you guys. The last one was with Michael Sheehan. It was a great podcast. You guys have some really good content. So I'm really happy to be here. And you guys have always been putting out some great content. So it's good. You guys are doing great work.
No, we appreciate that, especially when we're sponsored by CRB. Sorry, the CERB.
Sir, oh, come on.
Sponsored by the Sir. Who isn't?
Okay, so first of all, we need to get our sponsors in. We kind of jumped the gun here. Let's get we need to get our shit in. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to get their sponsors and everything in later. But first of all, we're sponsored by CanadianProtein.com. If you want to get some supplements, you want to go on there. You're going to use the promo code CHOKE. Get yourself 10% off. That's promo code CHOKE at CanadianProtein.com. We're also working with Raul Chavez from Project XGuard. You can set it if you have anybody who is interested who could be have jiu-jitsu be a positive influence on their life. You can get in touch with either myself, Aaron, or Raul Chavez on Instagram. We are also sponsored by Justin Trudeau and CERB as of last week since gyms got shut down.
Beautiful.
There's our ad read, Aaron.
Play the national anthem.
Now please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
When you guys edit this, put the national anthem in. Put that girl who falls, at the hockey game and she trips over the red carpet. Put that one in there. Put a little edit. You know what I'm talking about?
She slips and like a Serb check flies out from under her. She slips on it. I run over and pick it up because I got to go pay rent in a couple weeks.
What's going on with you guys? Sorry, Greg, you go. What were you saying?
Yeah, the CRB actually is it's not as much as we would like, but it actually helps. It's good that we have this kind of help, but I wish I didn't have to rely on this right now. And a lot of gyms and people are relying on this, and it sucks, But
does Greg know that a CRV is a car? Are you relying on a Honda? Never rely on a Honda, Greg. That's the first problem. That's why you're getting stuck in traffic all the time.
You know what? I was always a Toyota kind of guy, but I guess you confirmed my let's not go with the CRV. But when are you coming down here, Glenn? You gotta come and train with these guys, and hopefully you come and roll with us too, man. Sometime.
All the gyms are closed. Where the hell are you gonna train? In your basement?
Listen. Like the gyms are closed, but you can always roll a little bit, I guess. No, I guess everybody is.
I'm sure everybody's got a little Glenn club or a Greg club or a Mike club going on or an Aaron club. I'm sure everybody's got some kind of personal rolling going on, but
yeah, I mean, you just gotta be careful. Here in North York, we don't actually have that. Actually, it's on Monday, I think, is effective the new rules for North York, where now we are limited to 50 and then 10 active in a specific room. I mean, it sucks, but it's 50 in the place in let's say the academy, but it's about 10 people in a specific room. So if you have the mat area, then 10 people can occupy that mat space and train. But in the whole business, you can have 50 people. It doesn't really make sense, but whatever. They also say that the mask is mandatory. I don't know. Have you ever rolled with the mask?
Only my Joker one. No, I don't roll with
it. I've tried it once and I felt like I was gonna pass out, to be honest. It doesn't make any sense.
Our rules are a little it's funny because even though they were kind of forced to close in Quebec, it's really it's all over the place, man, depending on what site you look on. Closed. But it's for one of the Quebec sites says we can still train in groups of 4. as long as you're, like 2 meter distance and blah, 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 blah. So it's almost like saying that we can still do business as usual. And then on another site, it's like, nope, you can only have individual squares, 2 meters apart. So I have 8 squares and an instructor square in the middle. So technically I could have 8 people in the gym, but they're not allowed training with anybody, on the other site rules. They're not allowed training unless they're family members. I don't believe they have to wear a mask. That's something that's technically when you're in your square, you don't have to wear your mask in Quebec. From what I understand, it might have changed. Who knows? Don't quote me on that. And then, but I'm not allowed teaching the class. So it's like, you're allowed to, it's almost like it's like a Santa de Loisir. It's almost like if you had like a racetrack, right? Say if you owned like a park or something like that and there was a track, people can use the track. You could come in and use the facility, but nobody's allowed teaching you. Nobody's allowed running a class, and nobody's allowed scheduling a class. So it's,
how does that make any sense? Doesn't make sense.
I think it's so vague. It's insane. Like, so, what people are doing, I don't know. I just shut down technically. I just went back to Zoom because it's only supposed to be to the 28th. So, we'll see. Hopefully they do that. It's not worth the risk, I guess. But I know a lot of gyms that are still open. They say they close publicly, but but more power to them. I mean, I don't. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own, their own costs, their own money set aside. So like some people, it's easier to take the foot off the gas and play holier than thou. Like, oh yeah, we all need to shut down for everybody's benefit. But there's other people that gyms are paycheck to paycheck. Like where they're not at that point yet, and they might not have anything saved up, or even worse, maybe they opened a multiple gym. I was actually looking at that myself, man. I was looking to pull a trigger on a second gym. It was in the plan, so luckily I had that buffer of cash, which is now going to, keeping this one.
It's going down. Yeah.
So
every month is getting tougher and tougher. But I mean, we just gotta. Right now, I was talking to my partner. Like right now, it's just about how to keep the head out of the water and not sink. Right now it's more like damage control. But as far as trying to make something out of it and make money or a living, it's very tough. Right now, it's just like how are we gonna manage of staying afloat for, let's say, a month, 2 months, 3 months, see how we can go with that. So it's very, very stressful. But I mean, I sure we have some good, support. But I mean, it's a tough time, very, very tough, stressful time. It makes us angry, but we got to think positive and hopefully things get better,
I think one issue with like the shutdown and like, okay, we're going to do this week and then that the next is, I think we were talking to Michael, he brought this up too. I think it's better to keep some of these places open, regulate them. Here are the rules. If, somebody gets a case or two of COVID, this is the protocol. This is what you're going to do. We want to have it streamlined across the board. Like every gym, we're going to follow this. I think it's better to do something like that versus just like, hey, we're going to shut everything down because look what's going to happen. People are going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to, put up some carpet and drapes around my windows and I'm going to close and I'm going to run like basically like prohibition underground training, like in like the Terminator where, they go to like the secret underground basement and like Skynet's chasing everybody. And like this is what jiu-jitsu is turning into right now. It's going underground, but at the same time, if it goes underground, it's not regulated. You have, 30 people rolling in some dude's basement. Nobody's,
I call it clandestino BJJ.
Clandestino. Can you translate that? Because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, clandestino, like everything is like underground, like you said, like prohibition. Everything is under the table, like / close, board the windows up, don't see, turn the lights off, don't tell anybody. But I mean, like it's this is just, I think, a normal thing when you're trying to restrain people from doing their life, their living, like their sport, the stuff that keeps them healthy. Like talking about what from Mike's post, like that we saw that lately, like he had a person or someone that tagged him or somebody he responded to that said that they have those anxious, they have those suicidal thoughts or whatever, and their only way of feeling better was to actually train. Now we're forced to basically we're basically not allowed to have that healthy lifestyle of being able to take our minds off our bodies to get active, and so you have different things going on in your mind. I had a similar case of one of my students who's like fighting like drug problems and is very unhappy, like anxiety, depression. And he was telling me out of the text saying that, like the only 2 hours I was looking forward to in the day that keeps me going is to go to jiu-jitsu and train and roll and do this. And you have these rules now that are taken away from these people that, you know, not mentally strong, where they need it, you know, and they need to be part of the group and to see their teacher, their instructor, their friends, you know, and you're taking that away. So sometimes you also have that pressure of staying open for these kind of people, and you want to do it, but also, like, even if you have a strong mind, your physicality needs to be exerted, right? And also, like, for example, if you don't train, you feel like you're going to lose your technique, you're wasting time. A lot of things go on, you know, so it's very hard to just say we're just going to shut down and stop. I think you have to see on the other side as well. It's not as easy as that. So when people want to train, can you blame them? You know, like, I mean, it's tough, you know, it's very, 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 very hard, you know. It's just all different sides. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I mean, for me, like, I look at it on all the different angles, and it just sucks, man, you know.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna take a while to build things back to it. One thing that I noticed when we reopened, when we were allowed to reopen, it took about a good month to get, you know, people back. Even my main guy, you know, there's a few of my main guys who are like brown belts who still haven't come back. You know what I mean? Because they're, you know, and I don't judge anything. I still keep in touch with them. They're always saying the typical, like, hey, I'll be back. Don't worry, coach, you know, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you know, they live maybe with the mother who's got like asthma. Like, they all have their own reasons to not come back. And also another thing with jiu-jitsu, man, and we all know this, jiu-jitsu is a real easy sport to quit. It's really easy to quit. You know what I mean? We see it all at blue belts and stuff. Like, not us. We're that, you know, 1%.
No, I've quit maybe about 3 or 4 times, actually.
Well, you know what I mean. It's not something. Nothing wrong with taking a break. But we know the hundreds and hundreds that come through, especially ones who own academies. You know, you see all these people come. They're all like gun ho for about a year. Then they get their blue belt. Then they're like, well, shit. You know, I'm a blue belt.
It's now. Not a myth. It's an actual reality in our sport, in our martial art. It's true what you're saying, 100%. You see, as an instructor, as a black belt, we see it all the time. You know, like, and it's saddening, but this is just enforcing. I always tell people, don't find an excuse not to train. Find an excuse to go and train, you know? Like, there's a lot of people that feel, oh, you know, they're just feeling that this might be the time for them to just, you know, say, you know, I'm taking some time off. I got to do this. I got some injuries. I'm just going to nurture. I'm like, okay, you know, it's your life, you know? Like, you have to be supportive regardless, because you don't want to push anybody away, and you never know. But what you're saying is absolutely true. Like, there's a lot of people that actually step back, and maybe this is a good time for them to step back and they feel better about it. But hopefully, like, these guys come back, you know, because it's sad, you know, if you're good and you're putting this much time and effort in this martial art or this sport, you know, like, don't just let go, you know, just try and find a way of staying in shape and keep your mind ready for when you do come back, to not feel like you fell back with the guys that do train or this and that. Your brown belt that now is rolling with a blue belt that's smashing you, you know, like you do, like, entre parenthèses, you know.
I just found it took people out of their routine. You know what I mean? Like, the thing with this is jiu-jitsu is a huge part of your day. You know, like, maybe an hour, 2 hours of your day, but it is almost a daily thing. So when that was taken out, I mean, people had to find something else with a routine, right? Whether it was jogging, rock climbing, mountain biking, who knows, whatever they were doing, you know, maybe even just playing video games. I don't know. Follow Greg King's Twitch for his video game stuff. Little plug for you there, Greg. Who loves you, buddy? Who loves you, buddy? But yeah.
Follow him on Bumble and Twitter and
Bumble, Twitch, whatever.
No, not Bumble, not Grindr, not all this stuff, man. Just Twitch.
OnlyFans.
Onlyfans.com.
Yeah, it's OnlyFans. Yeah,
use promo code CHOKE, get 10% off.
That's where all his good lighting is for his OnlyFans. You know,
the OnlyFans account, this is a thing it's blown up, like, over this crazy, like, times that we're going through, man. I was actually looking at it, not for, like, you know, some nice.
I'm sure you were looking at it, King. I remember your post. But what is this OnlyFans stuff? What's going on? Why is this girl, Black Angel, trying to charge me $5.99 a month for 10?
Yeah, I see it pops everywhere. I see it pop everywhere. Oh, follow this, and they put those pictures. I'm like, okay, you know, I get it. You know, you want to
you gotta make kind of a living and stuff. But it's just like it's just too much, you know. Like
Greg, can I be honest with you right now? You need to stop messaging me on OnlyFans. Okay, like, it's getting a little excessive.
I need the subscription.
I get it. Like once a week is cool, but like when it starts getting to like an hourly basis, like it's too much.
Listen, I put that thing. It's like that not your constant contact newsletter. It keeps sending. I don't know, man. It doesn't override, man.
Just
override.
Unsubscribe. What do you mean? Jesus King. You gotta hire me for some consulting, life coach or something. I'll help you out, buddy. I'll rearrange that shelf behind you. We'll take care of everything, man.
This shelf is.
What do you got on that shelf? Actually, can you like?
I've been looking. He's got like a Nintendo thing or something over there on the right hand. I think is that a Nintendo controller?
That's the. Hello.
We lost him. Yeah. We lost Greg.
Oh, there you go. Can you see me? Yeah. So that's my that's the Nintendo Super NES. You know the small ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were like super hard to find. I got it. I played with it once, and I just keep it for collection purpose. You know, it's like nostalgia, more of nostalgia kind of touch. You know.
Okay.
It's got the magic touch of video games.
Yeah, it just like reminds me of my teen years. You know, which was like about 60 years ago, man.
I'll make this an open question. So Greg already answered what he spent his CERB check on. What did everybody else spend theirs on?
OnlyFans? No.
OnlyFans?
Rent, and the podcast that we're on right now. So
yeah, I think we're still like deep in the red on this, guys.
Yeah. No, the red, it's pretty, man. Even like I was like I've been really cautious of not taking any of the of the stuff that they've been handing out. I took the CERB for like 3 months, you know, just because they forced us to close. So, you know, I'll collect it, sure. But I haven't taken that loan, that 40K loan. I haven't done any of that stuff yet. I don't know. I just don't trust it, man. I don't trust myself either. I don't know, because it's like I find you're going to see a lot, and I hope not anyways. I hope I'm wrong with this. But when you see a lot of academies go under, or gyms, if you want to call them that, it's not going to happen now, obviously. It's going to happen. Like, I think a lot of those people who took that 40K are probably running out right about now. You know what I mean? I would think. So you're going to see in the new year, you know, I think that's like maybe next summer-ish, you know, that's where you're really going to see the aftermath of what's really been hit. Because again, like I was touching on before, it's taking people a while to come back. You know, like that's what I was kind of touching on before, where it's like you know, we reopened, but it took about a month to get your main body back. Like, you know, like a lot of people come back, but maybe only 50% of that. So it took like to get that other, you know, another 20% took about a month. And then you start getting new members in. So now the community is like, oh, okay, well now I can invest. You know what I mean? Like for us personally, we do a month-to-month membership basis. So it's not really a risk to them. But, you know, for the people who still do the, hey, pull it, pay in a year, do this, do that. Or they have those like chunk, you know, 3 months, 6 month, whatever it is. You know, how are people going to want to risk that? You know what I mean? Where it's like, well, when's if you guys get shut down again? You know, like when's if the government shuts you down again? So it's like, it's going to be rough to, not only when they say you can reopen, it's going to take a while to get the community back into where I want to come in and train, you know, especially with jiu-jitsu, man. We are the epitome of contact. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, we are, you know, so
yeah, but even like what you're saying, like, so Mike and I are health professionals, and basically in the club that we work at, like, and we're even just doing, again, we're in a gym, but we're in like distance contact of the individuals, and getting people back into that routine of health and fitness that was just starting to come back. And then now we put everything back on hold. So even when we were like discussing with members and like, hey, we're going to go set up your training payments again and all that kind of stuff, it was all month to month. There's nobody going out there and saying, okay, I'm going to drop $3,600 on 3 months, 4 months worth of training there and then. It's like, well, what if I shut down, right?
Yeah,
so
well,
I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, I saw a few gyms trying to do the, you know, hey, you know, we got 20 spots left, you know, buy everything now. You know what I mean? Buy your year now. You know, there was a few people doing that.
Always 2 spots remaining.
Yeah, exactly. We only got 4 spots remaining, man. So if you want to come and get, so I mean, I saw a few people doing that. I can't blame them. Obviously, it's a nice cash injection, but you know, also down the road, I mean, if you get, you know, I think it would become a lot of logistic nightmare in these times, anyways. You know, like where you have to refund this and you know you know, you have to refund 4 months because they already paid for 6, but now we're forced to close and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The only good thing now is that we're going into winter. Before we were going into summer, so everybody could train outdoors. At least now going into winter, people need gyms, you know what I mean? So like we're kind of thrown in with, you know, the weightlifting gyms right now, combat sports anyways in Quebec. So I see us opening again anyways. I don't see how they could keep us closed.
Do you you guys believe in the Zoom classes? Do you see a benefit? I mean, I've done it, but I don't know, man.
1000%. Yeah, man. Like if I didn't I speak to a lot of my friends who are in, own academies, and, a lot of them didn't do Zoom. But the thing is with Zooms, we were closed for so long. I kept that core involved. Like, again, I would never do Zoom personally. I'm not a Zoom guy, I wouldn't log in. I would come in to support my professor or support my coach or see my teammates once in a blue moon. But I would go find a buddy training in my basement for their basement for sure and go roll with them once in a blue moon and do a fight club or something. But, so I get it. I get those people. But for me doing it, like I said before, it was kind of like there was a happy kind of part of it where it got more parents involved. And as soon as we reopened with the social distancing stuff, those are the people that come back. It wasn't everybody all my other guys were like, are we rolling? Are we rolling? Are we rolling? Are we rolling? Are we doing this? Are we back to normal? I'm like, guys, we got to do what the law says. You know what I mean? If not, we're all going to get shut down, or I'm going to get hit with a super heavy fine. And I know we're not all going to be splitting that. So, you have to be. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, no matter what they say, I'm not going to go, hey guys, it's $6,000. So pony up, remember what you said.
Do you guys know anybody that actually got a fine or got?
I heard a few. Yeah. I've heard of a few. Yeah. I don't want to say anything because I don't really know 100%, but I do know. I mean,
I know people have had bylaw called on them like at jiu-jitsu academies and everything, but like, I haven't heard anybody have gotten a fine at just me personally, like just from what I've heard. But bylaw and Toronto Public Health and like your regional, like Peel region and York region, like they're checking up on places.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I heard, I have friends who've gotten fines for sure. Like gyms themselves, I heard of 2 gyms out here that got fined. But like they said it was for other reasons, but I don't know what other reasons it could possibly be. But I've also had friends who've gotten those fines because they were like having a party at their buddy's restaurant and they all got busted and they all got that $1,538 fine. And they got it. They got it in the mail. It took about a month, but they got it for sure. So, I mean, they are giving the fines. You can contest them, I guess. But, I mean, they were breaking the law, technically. They weren't supposed to be getting together at that time. Especially during the first shutdown. It was super, super strict. Like all across Canada. I mean, we're all the same rules, right, across Canada. Until Quebec did their own thing. Now we're all kind of screwed.
So Glenn, what the hell is going on in Quebec?
Why
are you guys such rebels?
Yeah, no, it's just our culture, man. We're a big party culture. I don't know what to tell you. So it's like, and we have, we didn't have any festivals this year, I guess. I'm just talking about Montreal. I can't talk about Quebec in general.
No, go ahead.
But it's as soon as they opened up the bars, man, but I don't personally think it was the bars. There were cases for sure going around, absolutely. But I mean, it skyrocketed when they opened the schools. It's just how it is. I mean, the kids aren't social. I'm right across from a high school, like literally like across the street from me is a giant high school. Trust me, they do not social distance. Like you can't expect them to anyways. And what's kind of funny is that they're keeping the kids can easily do online. I'm not saying they should, but they could, because I have a few students here who are teachers and they prefer it because then they don't have to go in. The kids do their class, blah, blah, blah. But they're saying the kids need to be, socializing. I get it. But then they go to school, and the things that I hear what they do to them at school is insane. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like they're being desocialized at school. It's like they have to eat lunch not facing each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have to, one eats this direction, one eats that direction, one eats that direction. You got to wear your mask. You can't talk to this kid. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't talk outside your class bubble. So it's like, what's the point of sending them there if it's just gonna bring up the numbers, and they can't even socialize anyways when they're at school, So I know it's just so parents can go to work. Honestly, that's really what it is. I mean,
that's really the main reason.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's basically babysitting at this point. What's going on in schools, but like I was touching on at the beginning, man. It's like we closed for 3-4 months so the province could get ready. You had your time to get ready. What is the excuse now? You know what I mean? Like China was building hospitals in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, like, we're not China, but I'm just saying, we're definitely not China. But I mean, it's like, what's your excuse now? Like you had 4 months to get ready. When you look at the numbers, like our cases are over 1,000 a day right now. Like we're at 1,100 to whatever it is. But the hospitalizations, it's less than like 200. It's like 150 people, or there's like 20 people in the ICU. So I get it. It's the flu at this point. It sucks. It does kill a few people, as the flu does, or as any other, C. difficile or, getting pneumonia or kills people. At some point, you got to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like, where we need to be not wearing masks. The mask thing is great. And, washing your hands and everything, that's just typical stuff. But at some point, you got to let people live, man. You can't, if the government isn't ready to take care of these cases, you're not ready to take care of 200 people. The hell, man. You're shutting down business.
That's the thing when they say 28 days, like, like they said, like, oh, you take 2 weeks and we're going to flatten the curve and this and that. And now it's 28 days. So I don't believe in this. I think they're very like, I don't want to say anything. I'm not even going to waste the energy.
You're on the podcast, Greg. We brought you here for a reason. That's to say something.
We're here to talk. What the hell
talk,
is this?
Son.
But listen, this is just 28 days. It's going to turn into what? Another 3 months, 6 months? What is it? Like what are they doing really in the back? I don't know if they're actually working or doing anything really like that's gonna make a big difference. I don't know.
So sorry, I don't want to cut you off. It's so Bill Gates can get his microchip ready and insert it where the sun doesn't shine.
The iPhone.
I don't know, like these conspiracy theories or whatever, but I'm saying that it's very, very slow process. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I'm honestly really disappointed in the whole system right now. It's tiring. It's like, come on, this is like what they're saying that maybe until October things still gets normal, until we can stop wearing these masks in public. Like, I mean, like, come on, let's stop with the jokes here. I'd rather them just be honest.
Let's stop with the jokes.
Stop with the joke.
What's going on? Like, we're clueless. We don't know. We're out of. We need to hire some other team from a different country to help us out because our guys in Canada are not that. I don't know. Like,
right. Someone cut King's mic already. He's going off on a tangent now. I don't know what's going on here. He's going he's gone off the 401. He's in a ditch.
He drove off.
He's going to ramble for the rest of the thing. I want to catch the UFC tonight.
Glenn, you got to stop, man. You know what? First of all, Glenn, I'm going to come to your house and you're going to fucking cook me a nice of these steak that you keep posting.
As long as you keep it under 10 people, okay, Greg?
He's going to feed me as if I'm 5. So already one of me is going to be like 5 people when I go there.
Yeah, well, it's the steaks, man. It's the way to go, man. The V Glen lifestyle, man. V Glen shirts are coming out.
You create that name and, you trigger a lot of people. You got to stop with that name, man.
King, do you really think I care if I trigger people? It's funny. I'm very PC online, but trust me, I'm not a PC guy. Like, it's funny. When I first got involved in jiu-jitsu, man, I was like, oh, my God, why is everybody whining so much, man? I thought it was going to be a tough sport with tough guys. Like, it was like I came from hockey. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm a chirper. Like, you're used to chirping. Like, we say the worst things on the ice about everything, and then we go have a beer afterwards or something, unless you say something that's crossing the line, then you fight. But like, I never understood all this, like the online chirping and the hurt feelings. It took me a while to get used to it. I've kind of adapted a little bit, so I try to keep my mouth shut when I can.
Like, listen, you really hurt my feelings.
Glenn, keep your mouth shut?
Trust me.
Do I even know
this
you?
Is me keeping my mouth shut. Me on social media, that's like 10%. I promise
Glenn,
you, 5% of my real.
You really hurt my feelings that one day.
Good.
You really hurt my feelings, and it still touched me in my heart. So I would like you to publicly apologize for that.
For what, though? First of all, you got to specify what I'm apologizing for.
Wait. I was on stage. And I had my Bordeaux jogging pants, and you made fun of me.
Wait a second. Hold on. I am not apologizing. First of all, I will not apologize if you use the word Bordeaux again. All right. So first of all, take this Bordeaux out of your freaking vocabulary. I know your French is pretty impressive in Ontario, but out here your Bordeaux means shit.
Okay, my wine colored, and I forgot my jeans that day, and I was like, watch, I'm gonna make fun of this by Glenn, and you did not miss, man.
He did not miss. But listen, King, I'll tell you something, all right? There's a thing with me, and it's very common. I only make fun of people I like.
No, I'm joking, man.
I only make fun of people I like. If I ever go too far and I feel that I've hurt your feelings, I will apologize.
No, I'm joking.
Suck it up a little bit. I mean, it's burgundy going pants or whatever you're
going. Like sorry. I didn't mean like Glenn. I didn't mean like I was joking, man. I was just, come on, man. I just joking, man. Come on.
okay. I'm not getting carried away here. It's okay. All right. It's all right.
So why is it that like Ontario people just seem to be so much more sensitive than Quebec people? I don't understand this.
We have more.
I see it all the time.
That's why we have more strip bars and we drink when we're 18.
Everyone sums it up.
We're desensitized at an early age.
You're exposed to debauchery when you're 12.
Yeah, exactly. We're drinking in forests like way earlier than I think the rest of Canada. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's funny. It's like I was talking with Aaron about that before we went on air with like the Ontario posts. You know, like how like man. It's so much passive aggressive shit. Like it's insane. Like I almost like even the likes are passive aggressive, or like the smiley faces are passive aggressive, and you know it's like it's insane. Like what? Like I'll always laugh. It's like a Ricardo's like he'll post something, and then like I'll be scrolling through and I'll see like, oh my god, like the Ontario Jiu-Jitsu has like 220 comments, and I'm like, oh, what is this about? And it's about nothing. And then there's always like some thread of just like two guys fighting, and it's like it's insane. Like honestly, it blows my mind. I'm reading till 2 a.m. just laughing, and trust me, I see everything. Like I don't everybody sees everything, but we don't comment. I don't know, in Quebec we don't really Facebook chirp as much. I got to be honest with you. There's a lot of Facebook chirping, and
like, hey, let's go have a cigarette and go roll.
Yeah, let's go to the strip bar. Our bars are open till 3. We don't have the time for this. By the time you guys are doing that typing, we're passed out somewhere. But yeah, I don't get it, man. Like I don't know, and it seems like there's a lot more. I don't know. Like we have a lot of rivalry. Like, and I'm just talking for Montreal as well. But like, there's a lot of rivalry. Like BTT and Barra, and like we have a huge rivalry, but like we don't. I don't know. I'm friends with Fabio. You know what I mean? I talk to Fabio. Like you know what I mean? Like we'll yell at each other at tournaments and stuff like that. But like we kind of leave it at tournaments, I guess, to a certain extent. Whereas I find Ontario kind of keeps it in the comments, and I don't know, man. There seems to I couldn't I saw that thing with Toronto BJJ, and I really hope that it wasn't another gym that ratted him out or something because they had posted online. I really hope that's not the case, because if somebody actually did that, man, that is so low. That's like,
don't worry, man. I'm pretty sure some stuff like that happened. There's a lot of I know for a fact, I'm not gonna say whatever, but I know for a fact that there's people that call people because if they can't operate, then they see somebody else operate, they're gonna be like, hey, why are they operating and I'm not, and this, and they call, and it's just a lot of stuff going on like this. It's pretty sad. Just leave the others alone. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Just let it go. Just let everybody feels like if I can't do it, then why can't he? Like stuff. Like it's
but just mind your business, man. But then, like that's what I tell people too. Like people are asking me all the time, hey, do you know if this person's open? I'm like, well, ask them, man. It's not my business.
No, but listen. I heard
the other bauhaus, like even my sorry, Greg, but like even like with my other affiliate gyms, like in Montreal, like we have like 8 out here now, maybe 9, I forget. But it's like people are asking me, what are they doing at the Montreal location? What are they doing in the Laval location? I'm like, I don't know, man. Talk to them. It's like, well, are they rolling in Laval? I don't know. I have no clue. Talk to them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to drop or try to rat out somebody or whatever it is, so for me anyways, just that thought, especially in this time of and I don't get it because I don't have that personality, but it's like, get what Greg was saying. God, I almost called you gagged. But
whoa!
Horrible. Waka.
Freudian slip there.
That was. But I mean, I couldn't imagine like I'm online and I see, okay, so we'll use Toronto BJJ as an example where they had the post where they were being open, which from what I read in the thing, that's what was going on. I missed the entire thing, like the original thing. But anyways, I caught up though. Don't worry. But anyways. Yeah, and then somebody from another gym saying, well, screw them. Why, and I'm going to call. If somebody did that, that's horrible. That's insane. That's
But listen, Glenn, to come back to what you're saying right now, I was on the radio, and they have those announcements every once in a while. And then I was actually appalled. Like, I was actually very upset and disappointed to hear that, because it's built. The government actually puts out messages where they actually ask for people to call in if they see or feel that, if people see or feel that people are not complying, businesses are not complying with this and that, and they're like, this is the number, call if you think that this person is doing. And I'm like, this is so wrong. This is actually the Gestapo, the SS, when you call on your neighbor, you know, and this and that. I think that's so wrong. This is the mentality that they're enforcing now. People are going to feel it's all right.
Going off on a tangent again here.
No, but this is the thing, and this is why I got banned on Facebook for a couple of weeks ago, because you know.
No, I think Glenn.
Greg, I gotta come clean. Greg, let me get the mic here. Greg, I'm gonna talk to you here, son.
Well, you got the voice.
There's a particular group of us on Facebook, a bit of a jiu-jitsu underground, who like reporting you.
What?
Yeah. There's a few of us. We're called the Jiu-Jitsu Justice League.
Jiu-Jitsu Gestapo.
And we've been taking you down for the last few months. So we apologize, Greg, but guide yourself accordingly.
Listen, I'm going to go on the dark web and I'm going to find your names and the IP addresses.
I'm just joking, Greg. We're not doing that. Greg's like, what? Did you see it? Like, you see his face for a second? He's like, what? It's like we're on an episode of Catfish or something. No, Greg, are you crazy? Christ. I got barely time to freaking pay my taxes. You think I got time? What's wrong with you, man? Come on. I pay my taxes.
No, but it's just
not recently.
So yeah, for sure, people call on business. I don't know if people call on Toronto BJJ, but for sure, people call on others, and I know for a fact, and it just sucks.
Yeah, but it's that fighting that goes on, man. Like it's hard for me to keep track of who doesn't like who anymore out there, because it looks like everybody hates everybody to a certain extent. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like, because I remember like the old school stuff that was going on where, you know, with the OGA and OJA and all this other stuff. So I remember hearing about all that stuff, like to my wit's end. But it seems to carry over a little bit. You know what I mean? There's still like, there's a lot of like, I don't want to say schools because I don't really know for sure, because I don't live out there. I'm sure you guys know a lot better than I do.
What do you mean, Glenn? There's no politics in jiu-jitsu.
No, but I mean, it's like I don't get it. Like, I don't like it's almost like they want like one. I want my gym open, nothing else in Ontario.
Yeah, I think honestly, like, there's nothing wrong. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of like healthy competition. Like, I think you guys have that out like Montreal, even probably within like different Baja gyms. There's probably a little bit.
Sure,
of
yeah, no, absolutely, we do. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think especially at this time, this is when like the entire industry needs to start coming together because like this is not the time to go, oh well, this guy's doing this, fuck this guy, or this guy's doing that, I'm gonna call on them. Like, this is a time that like martial arts school owners, and I think there's a lot of them talking even right now, especially like maybe the Ontario local ones. I'm not sure about out in the French side of things, but I know there's a lot talking about like, okay, like this is what we need to do. This is what we need to.
We actually got together already. We had sent a letter originally back in was, oh my goodness, his name escapes me right now. He's out in Quebec, really nice. Martins is his last name. But he organized everything where he was.
No,
not Marty. No, it's man, Richard Martins. And he had organized all of us. Like, he sent the message to all the gyms, you know, to all the BAs, BTTs, like the Zamuli and all that, like to sign the petition. So he had written everything with the proposed what we were going to do with the 4 squares and, you know, like 4 people in the square and blah, blah, blah. We paired up with Judo Quebec too, because Judo is obviously like, you know, the recognized thing in the province. Or in Canada, if you will, anyway. So we had paired up with them. So that's actually what got us open a little bit earlier. So, you know, we had already done that. You know, it took one guy. It took Richard to really kind of like do the work, you know, because that's another thing I think too. I think it's not that people don't want to work together. It's just that people don't want it. Not that they don't want to do the work, but it's a headache. You know what I mean? It's like trying to deal with like, I got to deal with this guy, and everybody's got their own input. And at some point, you know, like I know that a little bit when I used to do the fight for charity there. So like, you know, like when you're talking to all different gyms, it gets a little bit much, because then you got to get used to this guy's personality. You got to get used to that guy's personality. You don't want to offend that guy by saying this, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's tough. But anyways, when Richard Martins did it, he got it together, and good for him. So we had already done that. Yeah. So you guys should get on that as well, if you're not already.
I think some of the main guys have kind of already reached out to the OJA to kind of get together and really start banding up. But again, I think it's like a select group of individuals who are still kind of in that old school mentality, or, hey, this is my gym, I want this place open, that place can't be open. I don't know.
Yeah. So, if anything, if I saw what Toronto BJJ had done, I would parlay that. You know what I mean? I would want that to be successful, because then you could stand back, see if it works for a week or two. And then if it does, then you could do the same thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't understand the ratting out aspect. It's crazy. Man, everybody's going to suffer for that if they keep doing that kind of stuff. So if that's what happened, I don't know. I'm generalizing, but I have no idea.
No, exactly. And you just want everybody back and open. And that's the reality. I think everybody just wants to get back to some sense of normalcy so they can operate their business in some extent so they can just start to pay the bills or whatever, right? And just kind of get to some normal.
I mean, what I'm really concerned about right now is the angle that keeps going up Greg's nose over here. What's going on here, Greg? the camera, it just keeps getting.
I left my tripod with the phone connector thing, and then
now on, there's an earthquake in Greg King's room. Hold on.
It's just slowly
live to Greg King's room.
It's just slowly going. It's hovering under his nose now. Like, I don't know. Is it on the back of a turtle or something? What's going on here, Greg? What's going on with the tripod?
No, it's my hand. It's my hand. My hand is shaking now, because I'm holding my phone.
Okay.
You're nervous or something? It's just a podcast, man.
I take everything seriously, man. Everything is professional for me, man,
It's true, though. Greg is very professional.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. No sarcasm at all. I'm just
Greg was waiting for something.
Wait, Greg, I'm going to say it. I really like Greg. I really like Greg. I really do. Like, I don't like it. And again, I bust his balls, but it's only because I like him. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's fun. Like, I know sometimes, and he gets carried away. And the more you get carried away, the more I like it. Like, it's a little bit weird, but it's it is what it is. But I like you, Greg. You're a good guy.
We have this good relationship. Now you're somebody that I always respect, and you know that. So I mean, I think it goes
at least somebody does.
Yeah, I mean, but like we're in the long haul, so might as well have some good friends in it,
No, for sure, absolutely. What's been going on with you guys? You guys are interviewing us over here. We're just rambling. What's going on with you guys? Your gym?
They're closed. Again.
Where are you guys training now? It's hard for me to keep track. Where are you training, Mike?
I'm still out in Gracie Woodbridge with Dan Maroney.
Oh, nice. So you're still there? Okay, cool. How's he doing?
Still there. I've retired about 3 or 4 times. Aaron keeps dragging me back. Nice. There was a point I actually thought I was done with jiu-jitsu. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I just felt there was a point where I was like, I was just burned out. I was just annoyed with a lot of the things that have happened. I'm just like, you know what? I just want to do my own thing. F off, leave me alone. But then Aaron's like, hey, I want to start a jiu-jitsu program here. You need to unretire. And I was like Michael Clark Duncan and like the Green Mile. I was like, never again. I don't want to. And then he eventually talked me into.
That's a hell of a reference to use, by the way. I only got that because I literally watched it 2 weeks ago. I would have never got that.
I healed somebody, and then I got the chair after.
Let me tell you something about Mike. Mike, I know him from a long time, like from white belt, blue belt. We went on the road a couple times and everything. I always knew his game was solid. We rolled a few times, but last time I rolled with him was I think 2 or 3 months before this COVID stuff happened. I went to visit them at the Lifetime Fitness. They have a great program, by the way. And Mike,
not anymore because that thing's shut down.
But Mike, that's what the thing is. Like you would do a service to the people in Ontario and the competition scene if you actually quit, because and I'm not doing that. I said it to you, and I'll say it again. I said to everybody that we talk about when we mention you, like you have this solid game, very, very like technical, but it's no bullshit, and you have the proper body style, but you also know how it feels like you move very properly. You know how to use your weight, your strength properly. And the role we had, like I did learn a lot of the couple things that I've been working on, because you have that very technical jiu-jitsu. So you should never quit, because you're actually like one of those very, very like solid technical players. And you know what? Like I'm looking forward to when we can roll again. And same with Aaron, like you guys have some solid games. You come with the old school jiu-jitsu, and that's the jiu-jitsu that I think that you need to focus on, and you guys are doing a great job, and you get great teachers, so don't give up, you know what I'm saying? So that's why, like I don't want to hear that you want to quit jiu-jitsu, and you get frustrated. It's part of the game, man. Sometimes you go to those plateaus and, you feel like you're stalling in your growth, but man, you guys have some great jiu-jitsu, and please don't quit, because you're gonna make a service to people.
No, I appreciate it. I was talking more of like reference to like maybe like 2017, 2018, like around that range. Because I was just like, I just felt done. I felt like I was moved on. It was like another chapter of my life kind of thing. But then once they think you're out, they pull you right back in.
Well, I'm glad Dad's doing good. I know his brother out here had to shut down a little while ago, Sylvain.
Yeah.
He had to shut down, yeah. He was one of the first ones.
I think he's moved to probably one of the most Canadian places ever. I think he's in a hockey arena right now. He's actually somebody I want to get on the podcast as well very soon as well.
Yeah, Sylvain's a really nice guy, yeah. Get the Maroney brothers. Get them both on there.
Yeah, we're going to get them both on.
There goes the neighborhood.
They've already been both on.
Shout out to we want to get both of them on, but we've had Danny on like a long time ago. We want to get both of them on though, because like those are two like OGs, not just like the Quebec scene, but the Ontario scene as well.
They've been around for a long time, man, a long time.
If anybody has stories, those two definitely have a lot of stories that they can share. So we'll have a big special episode with them one day.
I got a lot of stories, but I just can't share them.
I started last night in the illegal strip club that I went to. We were playing a game.
Don't forget, I come from that culture where we keep our mouth shut.
Unlike Ontario, which apparently nobody keps their mouth shut around here.
Everybody goes nuts. What do you guys think is going to be the next blow up on the Ontario? What's the main site there where everybody goes off? I don't know. What's
Ontario Martial Arts, Ontario BJJ.
Wait. Well, whichever one it is. Where do you think is going to be the next spark? What's going to be the next one that goes? Wait. What's the juicy kind of Ontario stuff going on right now, other than who ratted out Toronto BJJ?
I think that's the start of it, to be honest with you. I think what's going to happen is another club is going to either get ratted out, and then it'll snowball effect from there. And I don't know.
East Coast, West Coast, man. It's like the Crips and the Bloods going at it, man. There's going to be no survivors at the end. You ratted me, you rat you.
And I think it's all the Toronto. I think it's the Toronto scene. I don't think it's like the North York or like the Mississauga, Peel region at all. I think it's.
I think you're correct. You are correct with that. It's not.
I think it's a Toronto scene issue, right? And I don't see it being like. I don't know. I really don't.
Are the schools close to each other? Is that what's going on? Because like for me,
I think there's a lot of saturation. 100%.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why we're not really saturated in Montreal. So
there's a lot of saturation, because even if you were to go up on Dundas and the 401, Greg's favorite highway, there's 3 schools I could name off the top of my head that are basically within 10-minute drive of each other.
Yeah, right? No, but 10 minutes is all right. Like that's average. Like even the West Island, we have, man, I got BTT West Island, JKS. I got, West Island Jiu-Jitsu. I got and then that's just the Jiu-Jitsu places. I got about 5 or 6 that are like, we're literally 5 to 6 minutes away from each other driving, like in a square type thing. But I was talking more about like being open across the street from each other. Or something.
There's a couple of those too, and especially with Muay Thai.
Muay
Thai gyms, there's a lot of Muay Thai clubs that are like basically the one guy doesn't like the other guy, and they'll literally open up across the street.
Yeah, that's not necessarily good for business. I know that's kind of like brings up demand, like it's the whole like restaurant thing where Wendy's always opens next to Harvey's because that's where people want to create demand. But jiu-jitsu is not really like that. It's nice to have schools spread out because people are gonna like I want to do jiu-jitsu. They're just gonna find whoever's the closest school, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as they get involved, it's like, oh no, I heard these guys are low. I'm going to try there, whatever. And then they figure it out as they get a little bit more, I don't know, they get a little more educated in the art, I guess, or who they're training with or what team they're training with. But it's all because like they just want to be wherever's close. I mean, it's literally what it is. So, but if you're like right across the street from each other, then I can understand like people being a little bit more with that. I don't know what the word for it is, but that gun-ho marketing, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to figure out why anybody would rat somebody out like that.
The way I honestly see it is the more schools that are open, the more that are, making money, that are successful, the better it is for everybody.
Oh, 1,000%. I always say like, just have the best product, man. That's it. Like, and everybody's different, it's not even who has the best product. It's people are going to go where they like the vibe. Obviously I create a different vibe then, well, I'll even say like Bruno Fernandez, my professor. We're 2 very, very different individuals when you talk to us. I'm very loud, obnoxious. Bruno is very quiet, soft-spoken. He's very, we're not, I guess we're both educated, but I mean, it's like, he's a doctor, he's this, you know what I mean? But we're like, we have very different personalities. We have the same idea and the same drive for our team, you know, and the brand and the product of Gracie Ball. We're on the same page with that, obviously, but two very different people. So like people who don't really dig training with me might like training with Bruno, you know. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't like training with Gracie Ball. You just don't like training with me or my instructors, or you don't like our vibe because I joke around a lot. Maybe you want a place that's more serious, and you know what I mean? Like where they're, you know, you come in, like whatever it is, you know, I'm not saying Bruno's serious. He's not serious either, but I'm just saying it's nice to have a variety. You know what I mean? So that way people don't just think they come to my gym and I'm the only jiu-jitsu school on the block, and whatever my experience is, that's their experience with jiu-jitsu. That's jiu-jitsu. I'm not jiu-jitsu. I do jiu-jitsu. I teach jiu-jitsu, but I'm definitely not jiu-jitsu. It's so vast. It's like anything else. It's like a restaurant, you know, like a Thai restaurant. It doesn't mean one Thai restaurant is exactly like the other Thai restaurant. Just because you don't like one Thai food thing at one place doesn't mean you don't like Thai food in general, you know? So no, having multiple places is by far the best. As long as you're not next door to each other. Next door is a little too much, but you know, like 10-minute radius, man, perfect. Can't beat that.
To be honest, I was in Scarborough. I was so close to like Omar Savosa Jiu-Jitsu. And by the way, like this guy is an amazing person.
What happened to Omar? Did they close?
I believe so. They had they reopened. I think. I don't know so much. I know that
across the street.
Davin, Davin is my good friend. Davin, a good friend from Quebec over there, and I see that they train sometimes. I think they stopped now. But I was down the street, like honestly, like you could throw a shoe at his academy and hit it, you know, like that. It was.
Who throws a shoe, honestly?
Like,
very disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. The distance was like maybe like not even like 30-second drive, you know. And we always had that agreement, and we always had that respect, that mutual respect, you know, like with him and me. So if anytime one of his students wanted to come on open mat, I would tell him, vice versa, you know. Like it's just after that, it's just a matter of respect, and if you want to keep a good relationship. And I was, you know, if I had anything or asked him anything, he was always there, vice versa, you know. And he was direct competition to me, and at the same time he wasn't. And a couple of times he sent me a couple people, and vice versa. You know, sometimes it's not even like, you know, as Glenn is exactly saying properly, is that, you know, some people might not like you as a person, or they might like you, but it doesn't mean that because they like you that they won't like jiu-jitsu. They might like Omar's style better. And so I would say, you know what, if don't stop jiu-jitsu because maybe you don't like the way I teach or whatever, you know, or my lineage, you know, just go in there, and then you see they stick with it, you know. So yeah, like, you know, I think that even if you're close in California, Mike, you've been to California, right? Aaron, Glenn, you guys have been to California. You've seen how many schools are.
I had lunch with you in California, Greg.
Huh?
I had lunch with you in California.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember, man, that was a good.
Oh, I've been there.
That was good. And I remember you playing like hard rock music, super loud, all in Huntington Beach, and people were like, "Who is this freaking Canadian, man?"
That's what I do, man. I do it everywhere here too, man. It's what I'm a hard rock metal type guy.
But you saw I mean, schools are right.
You didn't get a raccoon tattoo if you don't like the metal? What's wrong with you?
That's a beautiful tattoo, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But that's the thing, you know. It's like how you harbor basically a relationship with who's next to you, you know. And I think that makes a big difference, because if we can help each other, then, you know, like more and more people can join jiu-jitsu as a whole. And I think the detail is who they join. I think that's just a detail, you know.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't think that, you know, like I said, come back is to call each other is not the right solution. I think on the contrary, it's just going to harm us all. Even the person that calls on somebody else is going to harm them in the long run. So
all right. I'm going to ask the hard-hitting question here, Greg. This is what everybody. Who do you think did it?
Who?
Who do you think called?
Gracie, Baja West Island. Those John.
That is not correct. I would not do that. I would not do that.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm not particularly fond of the owner. I would still never do that to him. No. But who do you think it is? I really don't know.
I don't know, man.
You guys are probably going to play all PC. I know you Ontario guys are. You're going to be it's going to be a little passive aggressive, a little PC. We don't know. But
no. You know what? It might not even be anybody in jiu-jitsu that called. It might be just the business.
If it was somebody in jiu-jitsu, Greg, who would you think it was? Who would you think it was?
Aaron Gall.
Could it be Aaron? Could it be Dan Maroney? I don't know. Who's got a rivalry with Toronto BJJ right now?
I personally don't think that Gringo would ever do something like that.
I was just throwing his name out.
But I'm saying,
Greg, let's calm down. Don't call out Gringo there. Jesus.
No, I don't actually think that if anything, I think it would be maybe a smaller gym owner that would call.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, because the bigger gyms don't worry really about that stuff. So
I don't think it would be Gringo either. Gringo's I buzz Gringo's balls too, but I like Gringo.
Yeah.
But Gringo put out a post basically putting everything together saying, hey, we need to go talk to OJA. So it wouldn't be Gringo or anything like that.
No, I don't think so. I really don't.
Actually, they've called on Gringo. He told me.
Yeah, he got called on a bunch.
Yeah, several times
too,
actually.
eh?
Like
when during the first lockdown. So when basically he was getting the approval to kind of open up again and all that kind of stuff, he was getting calls from bylaw officers saying, hey, we're coming by, somebody ratted you out. And so basically people, they would come in, he was in compliance and everything was fine. So
well, because you guys know the rivalry is a little bit better there, so yeah, maybe it is a smaller gym or something like that. It's funny when we were having that whole because don't forget, jiu-jitsu is technically illegal in Quebec, right? So
I wanted to ask you that. What's going on? Why do you guys keep doing like outlaw mud shows on like the Ontario border?
I don't know, man. I know what happened with that. That was another story within itself type thing, but anyways, I shouldn't get into that, man. That's a whole different kit and caboodle. That's a whole different podcast, boys. That one could go on forever type thing. But yeah.
But do you ever think that like you guys are gonna get to some form of like understanding where you're gonna have grappling tournaments back in Quebec City or anything like that? Or
here at the end of the day, I think what it is that the government wants someone where they can get the taxes from. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, maybe some promotions were doing it where they were giving their portion of the tax. I ran the Montreal Open a couple of times. I did 2 years in a row, I think. So, we did it all by the book, obviously, with the IBJJF at the time. But, I mean, these other tournaments, were they, weren't they? I don't know. You know what I mean? So, like, especially when they first started, I have no idea. Was Grappling Industries doing it from the beginning to the end? I don't know. I'm sure they're doing it now. They're very big. SAU, same thing. Were they doing it? I'm good friends with Marty and Ryan. I don't know. So anyway, and neither does the government. So, like, if they're not getting their checks from their tournaments and then someone rats out, and that's what was going on. People are getting very competitive out here at the time. There was a bunch of I wouldn't call them little, but, there was, tournaments coming up and they were kind of competing with each other. And we all know what was kind of going on there at the time. And, I think the government just really needs somebody to go after to say, like, hey, this person had a tournament on this date. Where's the revenue from it? Where's the numbers from it? Where's our taxes? And I think that's really what it all boils down to. They don't have anybody to go after. And it's not just jiu-jitsu. It's obviously with the amateur MMA shows, which have been going on out here for a long time. It's actually been illegal for a long, long time. It's just tolerated. So
it's tiring, such a tiring situation.
Yeah. And also, we have a lot more, biker things out here too, right? So and bikers love their MMA. So it's like, it was also a way to wash, so there's a whole different underground scene to it. So I think the government just got fed up when everybody was getting called on, because there was one point where it was there was 2 amateur MMA shows and 2 promoters that were just ratting each other out because they used to be business partners, and same thing, business partners separated. And then they became rivals, and then they just ratted out each other's shows to the point where the cops got fed up of going because, they got to send manpower. You're going to these places, they don't just send 2 cops. They send 20, 30, you know what I mean? You got to send about 2-3 stations, and then you got to do the report. So they just got fed up of it. And they're like, listen, until you guys figure out who's going to be the entity that runs you, and then we ran into that whole problem where we're not an Olympic sport and this and that. And you need, anyways, you need to be recognized by Canada and blah, 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 blah. So, and I know Gringo's been trying to do something with that for years now. So, that's, when is this going to become okay in Quebec is when it becomes okay across Canada. And we got an entity to go after, which we don't have. And again, nobody can work together on it either. Because I know Gringo was talking about it, and maybe Gringo rubs some people the wrong way and they don't want to work with Gringo and like, who cares, man? It's just for the greater good of it. And
it just sucks that all this politic bullshit, Well, it's
because people don't really trust each other either, to a certain extent, right? So it's like, do I trust Greg to run Jiu-Jitsu Canada? Who's Greg? Who is he? I'm just saying.
Bro, he's the owner of VVV Geese, bro.
No more. I'm not with VVV anymore.
You're not doing the Vidi Vidi Vici.
No, I left the company. I left because it was time to move on to something else, and the time was done. And
OnlyFans, Glenn.
OnlyFans and Atari. What were you moving on to?
OnlyFans kind of business, you know.
What are you talking about, man? I just got the new collection. By the way, you want to plug the new collection of the Glen WO sweater hoodies. Look at this.
Where's my shirt? Where's my shirt?
Greg? Don't interrupt the man when he's talking here. Look at that. Look at that hand embroidered. By the way, the inside, that's imported llama. Unbelievable. Look at this. Fitted. Fantastic. I'll send one to you, Greg. $60.
Yep. No animals were harmed in the making of this.
No, many were. Many. That's what gives it the flavor. That's what gives it the luxuriousness. That's what's gives. You could smell the baby seal tears and everything.
I look forward to having red paint getting thrown on as I'm walking around downtown Toronto.
Panel, man, it's beautiful. But I love these things, man. They're fantastic. Unbelievable. I'll get you some, Greg. Don't worry, man. I'm sorry to hear about the Vidi Vidi Vici, though. I used to love yelling that at tournaments.
No, nothing to be sorry about. It just moved on to something else and got sponsored by Matsuru Canada and like a local company, local brand, and people in Canada, Montreal. Actually, they're based in Canada, in Quebec, and they're actually really good, solid people, good team. It took me a while to move on, and I wanted to go into with a solid brand that just represents what I represent, and they were a good team, and I decided to go on. It was weird, but
Who runs it? Where's that out of?
Matsuru Canada. They're in Montreal.
Oh, I know who runs that. Hold on a second.
Sergio.
What's the guy's name again?
Sergio.
He has a partner though, no?
Yeah, I don't know the partners so much, but I know that I know Sergio pretty well, and I know the one that owned it before.
Maybe that's who it was, because I think he actually used to train a ball. He used to be a TriStar for a while.
Yes, that's the guy. And they sell mats, great mats. They do a lot of good stuff, and they've been a judo company, and the thing is they're getting into jiu-jitsu just recently, and decided to get on board with that and help them out with that side of the business and promotions and marketing. And so they're awesome. So
Oh, there you go. Good for you, man.
But no more Veni Vidi Vici. Although it's a great company, it's still alive. I sold my shares to the partner, and it's still there.
They're a publicly traded company, Greg. Wow,
unbelievable.
What's that?
I said, you're a publicly traded company, Greg? That's amazing.
Yeah, man. You got to do what you got to do, bro.
Who is it sold to? Who bought the Vidi Vidi Vici?
I can't say. But
what do you mean you can't say? Look at it. You're showing off your lamp now. You're showing off that lamp. What's going on here? What is it with this angle? He's trying to show off everything on you. He's like, look at my shelf.
I've seen your entire room now. Like, I've got every angle of the entire room.
Yeah, he's done like a 360 while he was sitting. I don't know if anybody's noticed this. I don't know. He's very feng shui. That's one thing about Greg King. He's a very feng shui type of guy.
No, but listen, you gotta be in your office. You gotta feel good. That's where I spend most of my day. So it has to be comfortable.
Absolutely. Well, if you're not on Call of Duty, you're obviously on Twitch, or then you're also on OnlyFans. So it makes sense.
Yeah. No, I started on OnlyFans, but then I figured that Twitch was better. So.
Do you still have the casting couch, Greg?
No, it's gone.
What are you looking at now? There's a lamp on the floor.
I think that's
By
a
the way,
lava
his
lamp.
casting couch is a burgoyne or whatever it is. It's burgundy pants.
Glenn, hopefully one day you come here, we can smoke a cigar and
Nice.
and chill. By the way, I wanted to ask you guys, because I have a lot of students that ask me, and some of them really, before this happened, we're training really hard to compete. When do you guys think competitions will be again allowed? I know it's not anytime soon, but when? Let's say after things get better, whatever. When do you think who will be the first competition that will happen in Ontario? Like when and who? Because I don't have answers, honestly. I don't know.
I'll be honest. Let's just try to keep jiu-jitsu schools open first, and then we can worry about tournaments. I think that's a big thing. Let's just make sure that people still have their businesses. There's people training. Then we can worry about a competition scene. But let's just keep everything open first. And that's going to be with numbers going up. That's going to be an uphill battle. But I think first things first is once numbers start getting down, people can start training more regularly. People are more comfortable to train. Then we can start talking about tournaments.
I don't even know if we'll see tournaments next year. To tell you the truth.
Okay, so what do you guys think? So what do you guys think about the Pan Ams that happened in Florida last weekend? What do you guys think? There's still tournaments going on in the States, and yeah, it's Florida. It's a state where it's not as harsh with the rules and this and that. Yeah. But what do you guys think? You think it's good that people want to compete? Like, obviously train to be able to compete. So why can't we have that here? You know?
Yeah. No, I don't. You know, for me, I actually put a post up about that. Just kind of like I was kind of a tongue-in-cheek post where people were asking me if I was going to the Pan Ams this year, and I know one of my teammates there, Jeremy, went. He went up. So, but again, you know, for me as a school owner, it makes absolutely no sense to go because what am I supposed to do at the time? Like, technically, we were supposed to be open, so. Am I going to leave my gym for 2 weeks? You know, because you have to usually leave for about 2 weeks, you know, and then when I come back, I got to quarantine as well for another 2 weeks. So you're gone from your gym for a month for what, you know, like, and honestly, like, you know, it's kind of the COVID Pan Ams, you know what I mean? It wasn't, it was almost like more of an American Nationals. If you looked at it, you know, like, I'm not saying like it wasn't as deep as it usually is. Let's put it that way. So I was kind of saying that like, even if you do go, people will still shit on your medal to a certain extent. Oh, you won the COVID Pan Ams, you know, like there wasn't as many people there that year, but you know, you're not a real Pan Am, you're the COVID Pan Am champion. So there's always going to be those type of people that are going to say those kind of things. So it's not worth the risk, man. And also just the travel risk, you know, or also the grappling risk, you know what I mean? With like people from, you don't know how they've been
places,
training.
Other countries, whatever countries can get in.
Yeah.
You don't know where they've been. They could be, you know, like as dirty as Greg King. They, you know, like you never know.
Calm down. Let's calm down here. But I mean, also, yeah, but that's what I mean. And for what, you know what I mean? For like, for me, it made absolutely no sense. And, you know, a few of my students asked if they should go. And I told them like right off the bat, I'm like, well, you work, you're going to have to quarantine. And this like, do you really think it's worth it? Like it's on you if you want to go. I mean, I'll never piss on anybody's dreams or whatever it is, but for me, it didn't make any sense, but it's nice that they held it for the people who did want to do it. You know, just because it wasn't for me doesn't mean it wasn't for like kids like Jeremy. You know what I mean? Like he had a great time. He's training out in Texas and having, you know, like he's probably learning a lot. You know, it's a good life experience for him. Hopefully, you know, again, but he doesn't, I guess, technically work or anything like that. So it's not really an issue for him, I guess. And he's young, so I guess he's not worried about catching it. And you know, who knows, man? But that's my opinion on it. I think, well, next year we might, like, to answer your question, Greg, which should be the first. I would always say the first one should be the biggest one. So the Ontario Open should be the first. You know, but who am I to say? You know, maybe having those giant tournaments is probably not a good idea. Maybe have a tournament where it's just like, you know, 200 people instead of 500 or 100, so you don't have as many people in the same place. And you know, the thing with the Pan Ams, they had to run it on multiple days. More so than usual, I think, because you were only allowed on your day. You know what I mean? Like you weren't allowed in the building if that wasn't your day, you know? So like
on a weekend.
Which is the right thing to do, I guess, you know? So, you know, who knows? I think the main thing is hope they find some kind of a vaccine for it. And I think that's what they're really waiting for.
The vaccine will take at least a year and a half to 3 years.
Well, none of us really know, but I mean, they still don't have a vaccine for chickenpox. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, or do they? I don't know. Do they have a vaccine now for chickenpox?
Yeah, they do.
Chickenpox, they do.
No, maybe they do, but it took a long time to get it either way. You know, like, you know, so like, I mean, it probably took them about 10, 20 years to figure that one out. But
there isn't even a vaccine that gets like rid of the flu, you know, like, so what?
Well, there is the flu shot. Great.
No, but it suppresses it, but it doesn't. There's still different forms of flu that keep coming around. You know, you can't just
COVID.
And so it's still gonna be the same.
A different form is called COVID, Greg.
You got what I'm saying, man. but that's the thing, though. We're gonna now. It's just like, yeah, it's true. It's the new normal. I hate this phrase. It's the new normal, but we're just gonna have to learn to live with it, I guess. But I mean, I don't know, man.
The only thing that I actually see staying is going to be the mask thing. That's going to stick around for a while.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing that's probably going to be for like 2-3 years, 100%.
Yeah, if not longer. Honestly, that could be the new norm. You know, like they've been doing that in Asia for a while, right? But it was mostly for pollution. But I mean, now it's accepted. Before you look like a weirdo, you know, I'd be at the airport like, oh, look at this guy with a mask on, you know, like, or in the street, oh, look at this person with a mask on. Now it's the
meanwhile, they might be the smart. They could have been the smart ones out of this thing.
Yeah. Now people are marketing it. You know, I got my Glen WO masks. You know,
coming soon.
No, not coming soon. I got him. Trust me, that was the first thing I got printed up, man.
Mike, what's your T-shirt? What's your after? What can you explain about that? It just mind boggles me right now.
We don't talk about that gym anymore, Greg.
What are you talking about? About my shirt, the Glen WO?
No, he's talking about my shirt. What's your after? This is a shirt about a gym that me and Aaron don't talk about anymore.
Used to belong to it or something?
Well, I can't disclose that. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
This is your podcast. We're here to expose things. What do you mean you can't expose it? Imagine if all your guests said that, Mike. Sorry, we can't expose that. Sorry, I'm only wearing it. I'm wearing it, but I can't expose it.
We're going down a very, very dark black hole here.
We'll save it for the next time, guys. Guys, the UFC is starting soon, man. It's 9:30. I gotta drive home. What are we doing? We got any more questions?
Whoa, Glenn, man, this is not what the.
What? I got places to go.
The last time we get Glenn on the show.
Hey, you're on the show because of me. I got you on here. What's wrong with you?
That is true. Wow. Glenn was like, I'm not doing the show unless Greg shows up.
1,000%. Okay, I was ready to walk. If you didn't show up, I was ready to walk. By the way, you got to trip. Anybody look at this hair on his arms? What's going on here, Greg? Jesus Christ, man.
This is the lighting, man.
Can you shave
it? Wearing an XL sweater.
I could put a second lining of Greg's arm hair. It would sell like hotcakes, man. It would be like velour.
Hey, you're gonna feel it when we cross face, man.
Fair enough.
I do have one last question before you leave. Sure. Will this rivalry with Mr. King ever be over?
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Never,
it just started.
Never ever. Never, ever, ever. And the thing that kills him is that, like, our only podium shot is me in first place and him in third. Kills him. With Renato Larancha, too. Remember Renato was there giving me the medal? I pushed you aside. I was like, get out of here because the pictures
No. Listen.
Everybody invites you up onto the top. He tried to get on my top. I said, get out of here. Pushed him away. Stiff armed him to his third place. Stiff arm. Hell of a stiff arm, by the way. Stiff armed him there. Got over on Renato. Give him one of these. Give him one of those.
No, you talk about because I fought
do that in your nightmares.
And we didn't fight because I lost to Cal Pinder by points. And
I beat the guy who beat you. What does that mean, Greg? That doesn't mean anything. What are you talking about? I beat the guy who beat you.
That podium from you, man. I will take it.
One day, it's coming, baby. It's coming. Look at the big baboons, man. You better get on that V-Glen. That's not bad, but your hair's hiding it, unfortunately. That's. What is that? Is that a sperm? What do you have on your other arm? What is that? Is that a tribal sperm? What does it say?
You fuck off, Glenn.
Only Greg would get a tribal sperm on his bicep. By the way, Greg, mine aren't too bad, too. Look at that bruise. I don't know where I got that bruise from, though.
What is that? How did you get it from?
I don't know.
Who did you try a headlock?
I was doing a lot of solo drills.
Man, I don't know how you got that with a solo drill, man.
But... A lot of solo drills, man. I tell you, man. I was doing my what's it called there? My Elastica Naturel.
By the way, that logo you have in your background, is that your basement rolling thing with the?
Yep. I have this when you walk into my house. This is the foyer. It's just TV everywhere, man.
That's nice, man. It's actually a good logo.
I actually like it because it's red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? So it's the color of the Canadians, the Habs, les Habitants. So I like it out here, man. Like the red, white, and blue is very, very pungent in Montreal, man. It's got.
I like the red and white.
Yeah, for sure.
This will be a rivalry that will never end. This is France French versus Redneck French.
I like Greg. French. I don't know. I think I got the edge on Greg, though. I don't think his style would match up too well with mine. I got a very strong power pressure pass from the top, and he plays a lot of guards. So it'd be interesting, though. No, but I'm heavier than you, though. Like, I'm about 185 now, so
I weighed myself. Actually, last week I was 149.
Yeah, so we're different. So that would definitely pull guard on me then, please.
I'll take your back, Glenn. Back, bow and arrow, man.
Take it.
Clock choke.
Cock choke? What?
Clock choke.
Would you stop it with your fucking tribal sperm and your cock chokes? What's going on here? You should have ended this when I said we needed to end it, because now it's going dark. I don't know what's going on. Talking about his cock chokes is, I don't know what's happening over here now.
Clock choke, not cock choke.
things are getting out of control. See, this is what happens past 9:30. Things go bedtime. The medication's wearing off. He doesn't know what's happening. Come on, Greg.
Anyways.
Choke.
Bow and arrow. Let's stop it there.
Yeah, put me in a heel hook.
No, I don't do heel hooks yet. But they're legal now, so I got to work on them.
No, they're legal, man. What are you talking? I'm very excited about this, man. I'm very excited. A lot of people don't know. I'm more of a no-gi guy than I am a gi. I love no-gi. And when I first started training, we were like just freestyle jiu-jitsu. And it was like all we did was leg locks. Like we were allowed heel hooks in white belt tournaments. I remember actually a Guzzi, back when he first started, he was like 18. He heel hooked one of my teammates, like ripped his knee apart type thing. But like, you know, it makes sense that they don't have it anymore. But leg locks were big when I first started.
So now it's browning up, right? So the thing is, I believe it's going to be good for the sport, but I'm curious to see now if Gordon Ryan is going to be competing, or the Dana or the DDS is going to compete more at the FGF, and if the other.
Surprised you didn't call them the CRVs.
The what? The CRVs, yeah. But the
CRV Death Squad.
Yeah, like it's good because now people have to evolve their game.
Shout out my buddy Oliver Taza.
Man, have you rolled with Olivier Taza?
Of course.
Yeah, this guy's a monster, man.
Yeah, no, Oliver. Yeah, no, he's come here quite a bit. You know, like he's a great kid, really good kid. We traveled a lot too.
Yeah, solid.
Stayed in my hotel room at the Pan Ams. He slept on the floor in front of my bed. True story. True story.
Sure
and then we got drunk after the Pan Ams. And I have a picture of me double legging him into a suitcase.
In your bed?
No, on the floor. We were drunk in the hotel room, and I double legged him into the suitcase. Like I power doubled him.
What happens in the hotel room stays in the hotel room, again.
Pretty much, yeah, I guess, until I said it. But anyways, I'm just saying. It's just great. No, but Taz is a great guy. He's a very nice guy. Very, very good kid. Very good kid.
But I mean, it was good to be here. I have to go now.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
I was the one who was trying to wrap it up 10 minutes ago. Now you gotta go.
Oh, now, okay. So let's
you gotta go. Oh, sorry. Let's end the podcast. King's gotta go. He's got things.
King's gotta go on OnlyFans and make some money.
He's gotta take a shit. Look at him. He's fucking bipping and bopping all over the place.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. First thing, Glen Mackenzie. I'm gonna give you the second last word. Do you have anybody to shout out? Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank myself personally. No, I'm joking. I don't know. No, I don't. I like to shout out myself just for staying alive and, you know, still being here to breathe. No, but honestly, I don't know, man. I don't really have a shout out or a sponsor or anything like that. But I just hope everybody can like all the gym owners, even the ones I don't like, you know, like I really don't ever wish anybody to lose their business or lose their passion. I mean, this is a very tough industry to get into, just to start off with. It's not an easy martial art. Martial arts in general is not an easy business to run, and jiu-jitsu itself also, we don't have that, you know, that it's not easy, you know what I mean? So it's easy for people to quit, like I was saying before. So I just hope really everybody gets through it, and I hope they, you know, if anybody ever needs anything from me, like even, you know, I'm not saying I'm still alive here, I'm still around. So if anybody ever needed any business tips or whatever, I don't care if you're affiliated with me or not, reach out. You know, I'm not saying my information can help you, but I'll say, you know, I'll tell you what's working for me and help anybody out that I can. So, you know, like, just keep everybody alive, man. Keep everybody training and, you know, I don't know, not everybody training, you know what I mean? But, you know, be tight with your finances. That's all I can say. And be careful with whatever loans you're taking, because they will catch up with you. The banks are really happy with that right now. And, man, it's going to be tough to pay back, especially. I think it's going to be a low climb to get us back to where, you know, where jiu-jitsu was, if it'll ever be at that point again, which I'm sure it will, but anyways, we'll see.
Mr. King, I'm going to give you the final word. Do you have any sponsors to thank? Do you want to shout out your OnlyFans, your Twitch, your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, your gi company, your social media, traffic report on the 401, whatever you want. The floor is yours.
By the way, I do have a 407 transponder.
You should use it a little more often, so we don't have to hear you complaining on Facebook.
I had no idea what that was. I thought he was talking about a vibrator or something. I'm like, what is a 407 transponder? I was like, what is this, Greg? No wonder he's moving so much.
But first of all, I wanna thank you guys for having us, for having me on here. Like, you guys have a really good podcast, really good thing. Yeah, I've always been a fan of what you guys are doing and the content. You guys are awesome. So, and you guys are good friends. I consider you guys, Aaron and Mike, good friends. Glenn as well. He knows that. We joke around, but you know, he's a friend for life. You guys are friends for life for me. You guys are always welcome wherever I am, you know, and you know, like, keep up the good stuff. Glenn, Nick, you know, like, I have a lot of respect for you, and that will never change. I appreciate the post when you tagged me and what you did like a couple days ago. It's always good, and likewise, I'm there for you guys anytime. Yeah, just I started this game streaming, like, so Twitch and Facebook gaming at Professor King, like Professor King, very simple. And Matsuru Canada for jiu-jitsu stuff. You know, they have grappling dummies, mats, whatnot. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to tag that as well, to mention them. But no, really, it's to thank you guys for the good work, the hard work. And Aaron, I love your daily posts with your kids and your stuff. Like, you know,
thank you, sir.
It's good stuff. It's not easy. I know it's not easy to always be behind the camera, and you're doing a great job, and you know, you have a good face for that, and I really like the way you edit your stuff.
Good job, Aaron. You're not ugly.
Can you guys mute the mic at some point? What's happening?
And again, congrats on the black belt, and you know, look forward to rolling with you as a first time, like, for you being your black belt. We roll for the first time as black belts together. It will be an honor.
Awesome.
And,
thank you.
For Mike as well. Hope that your day comes. It will come. You know, don't stop. Don't go. You're part of a good group and team. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that you want to talk, I'm always there for you guys. So thank you.
Appreciate your guys' time tonight.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Us. Heavy us.
Bye.